Welcome to ACC Student News.
The news students can use. I'm Sasha.
And I'm Ivy. Here are this week's stories.
There was an attack at a Catholic school in Minneapolis on Wednesday morning. This is the fourth deadly shooting the city has seen in 24 hours. 2 children have been killed in the shooting, which left a dozen more people injured. The children were attending a worship service during their first day of school. The shooter died at the scene of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The FBI is investigating the incident as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics.
Sex ed could come to an end if states don't comply with Trump's new terms. All states and U.S. territories are required to remove any references to transgender people in their sex ed curriculum. California, New York, and Oregon have spoken out about this new demand from President Trump. Each state could lose anywhere from $300,000 to $4.6 million in funds. However, just days after California refused to remove its references to trans people, the AFC cut $12 million of California's remaining health education funds. This is part of Trump's much larger movement of erasing trans education.
The latest effort by Southern Florida to remove the invasive Burmese pythons is by using robot rabbits. Burmese pythons are extremely invasive to the Florida Everglades with an estimated population of 300,000. In the Everglades National Park, they have wiped out 95% of all small mammals, along with thousands of birds. Scientists have come up with a new strategy to help bring the pythons out of hiding, as they are hard to detect and camouflage well into the surroundings. These bunnies move, emit heat, and even smell like bunnies that pythons would eat. Scientists behind the project say it is too early to determine results, but the initial data is cause for optimism.
Federal judges have questioned whether Mario Guevara can stay in detention after all charges against him were dropped. Guevara, who was covering a protest near Atlanta, was detained by ICE on the charges of police obstruction and unlawful gathering. After these charges were dropped, the local police tried to charge him with reckless driving along with other counts, but the county denied prosecution. Many are protesting his arrest, calling it a blatant denial of free speech. ICE has refused to release Guevara, even after an immigration judge granted him bond.
After trying to spend quality time with his kids, a 40-year-old man from Connecticut has been rescued after getting stuck in a slide at a children's playground. The unidentified man was wedged headfirst in the middle of the slide for over 30 minutes on a hot day with no ventilation. Firefighters had to remove a section of the slide to rescue the man. He is in stable condition and refused any further medical treatment on the scene.
Cracker Barrel is returning to their original logo. After backlash, the community decided to rebrand, trying to reach a larger audience to eat at their restaurant. With this rebranding came the removal of Uncle Herschel sitting in his chair leaning on a barrel. While some applauded this logo change, many protested it, calling it woke, including the president and his son. With this backlash came a loss of stock price. Overall, the company's shares went down 7.2%, resulting in a net loss of $200 million. However, after Cracker Barrel announced they were returning to their original logo, stocks rose back to original price.
CDC Director Susan Menarez has been fired after refusing to endorse the new vaccination policy set in place by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Dr. Menarez was sworn in only a month ago by Kennedy Jr. However, after bumping heads with the health secretary, Kennedy tried to remove her from the position. Armed with a lawyer, Dr. Menarez is refusing to step down from her position.
The Department of Transportation is set to take control over D.C.'s Union Station transportation. Secretary Sean P. Duffy pointed out specifically homelessness and disrepair as the main cause of the takeover. This comes after Trump's executive order to fight crime and beauty the Capitol. They plan to replace elevators, lights, security along the roof, and updating major systems.
That's all the news we have for now.
Stay tuned for more news after the break.
What's your motive? Billy Scott. Police are on their way. What are you going to tell them?
Peer pressure.
I left it behind the dumpster. I need you to pick it up and put it in my locker tomorrow morning.
Dude, this feels wrong. Everything's all boarded up. I shouldn't be here.
Would you rather have your secret exposed to the whole school?
Freeze! You're under arrest.
Please, I can explain. It's not mine. I didn't want to do this.
Listen, peer pressure is no reason to break the law. You're under arrest.
Welcome back to ACC Student News.
Here are the rest of the stories.
Minneapolis Police Chief has confirmed that 2 children have died in the Catholic shooting. The children's ages 8 and 10 were shot by a male in his 20s, approached the school from the outside and started firing a rifle through the church windows. The children were sitting in pews during a mass. 14 children were injured, and 2 are still in critical condition.
The Cherville Family YMCA is getting a large expansion that will land into the neighboring Jack's Warehouse space. The Cherville Board of Zoning and Appeals voted to approve the plans after Jack's Warehouse denied not renew its lease. The plan includes to shrink the parking lot from 730 spaces to 590. The YMCA will take over the Jack's building, then push to a living frontage and lobby onto the front of Jack's.
Mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus have been found in Porter County. According to the Indiana Department of Health, out of 40 mosquitoes tested in Porter County, 8 tested positive for the virus. 5 people have been infected with the virus in Indiana and 4 hospitalizations, and 1 death has been reported. Health officials advised using EPA-registered repellents, wearing protective clothing, and remove standing water to prevent mosquito breeding. None of the affected individuals are from Northwest Indiana.
The infamous K-pop Demon Hunters movie has been unseated as the #1 movie on Netflix. Transformers Rise of the Beast slides into #1 on the top 10 list. This is the 7th live-action Transformers movie since the original in 2007. The movie was released in 2023 and has critics split and audience with 51 score on Rotten Tomatoes and 91 audience score. K-pop Demon Hunters ranked among the most watched titles on the platform with just about 80 million views.
The Hammond Common Council voted 6-3 to squash a new golf cart ordinance in Robertsdale. This would have allowed anyone with valid driver's license to operate a golf cart on county streets and alleys. It also included penalties for anyone who violated the operating rights. Councilman Kalawizinski said that he introduced this as response to many requests by residents and hoped that it would be a pilot program that would be adopted by the rest of the city.
18 people were killed at the Ukrainian capital as Russia launches its most deadly attack on Kyiv. The city was bombed overnight by Russia's second biggest attack. According to Ukraine's Air Force, the Kremlin unleashed 629 air attack weapons on the country that was comprised of almost 600 drones and 31 missiles. Zelensky is calling the assault horrific and a deliberate killing of civilians. He also stated that it seems as though war is Russia's outcome and not peace. Spokesperson for the Kremlin stated that Moscow is still interested in peace talks but emphasized that special military operations will continue.
A new recruit for the Gary Police Department is saying that he was fired from the department a month ago because of his hair. Chance Johnson said that he was given an ultimatum by the Gary police chief days before he was sworn in to cut his braids or be terminated. Johnson said that he practices the Rastafari faith and cutting his hair goes against his religion. He said that he contacted Human Resources to seek religious accommodations to keep his hair. About a week later, he had a meeting with the chief, stating that he had 24 hours to cut his hair for safety reasons. Spokesperson for the city of Gary said that they are committed to fair treatment and are reviewing the case.
That's all the news we have for this week.
Make sure to check out the rest of our videos on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at ACCtv Hammond.